Hi, it's Adam, aka Pallet Town. Just wanted to say thank you for listening. And if you enjoy this recording, please like and subscribe or become a member for priority recording requests. And also stick around after the recording for a short discussion and some of my thoughts on this book. So now please enjoy Point Omega by Don DeLillo. 2006, late summer/early fall. Anonymity, September 3rd. There was a man standing against the north wall, barely visible. People entered in twos and threes, and they stood in the dark and looked at the screen, and then they left. Sometimes they hardly moved past the doorway, larger groups wandering in, tourists in a daze, and they looked and shifted their weight, and then they left. There were no seats in the gallery. The screen was freestanding, about 10 by 14 feet, not elevated, placed in the middle of the room. It was a translucent screen, and some people, a few, remained long enough to drift to the other side. They stayed a moment longer, and then they left. The gallery was cold and lighted only by the faint gray shimmer on the screen. Back by the north wall, the darkness was nearly complete, and the man standing alone moved a hand toward his face, repeating, ever so slowly, the action of a figure on the screen. When the gallery door slid open and people entered, there was a glancing light from the area beyond, where others were gathered, at some distance, browsing the art books and postcards. The film ran without dialogue or music, no soundtrack at all. The museum guard stood just inside the door, and people leaving sometimes looked at him, seeking eye contact, some kind of understanding that might pass between them and make their bafflement valid. There were other galleries, entire floors, no point lingering in a secluded room in which whatever was happening took forever to happen. The men at the wall watched the screen and then began to move along the adjacent wall to the other side of the screen so we could watch the same action in a flipped image. He watched Anthony Perkins reaching for a car door, using the right hand. He knew that Anthony Perkins would use the right hand on this side of the screen and the left hand on the other side. He knew it, but needed to see it, and he moved through the darkness along the side wall and then edged away a few feet to watch Anthony Perkins on this side of the screen, the reverse side, Anthony Perkins using the left hand, the wrong hand, to reach for a car door and then open it. But could he call the left hand the wrong hand? Because what made this side of the screen any less truthful than the other side? The guard was joined by another guard, and they spoke a while quietly as the automatic doors slid open and people came in, with kids, without, and the man went back to his place at the wall, where he stood, motionless now, watching Anthony Perkins turn his head. The slightest camera movement was a profound shift in space and time, but the camera was not moving now. Anthony Perkins is turning his head. It was like whole numbers. The man could count the gradations in the movement of Anthony Perkins's head. Anthony Perkins turns his head in 5 incremental movements rather than one continuous motion.